We now return to Reckoning of New York. Finally, some original content in the game. Spinfluence. The constant interruptions vex me no end. How can I keep an eye on Kali when there's always another trivial demand on my attention? This time, it's Torque's call that I must answer. This isn't the first time I've been invited to see Torque at his brewery. It seems like a rather casual space, hipster even, it seems like a rather casual space, hipster even, as I've heard some of the younger anarchs call it, but appearances can most certainly be deceiving. I mean, like, even hipster is kind of an old phrase here I'd like to point out. In the terms of pop culture, anyway. It's about a decade old now. I have taken part in casual, borderline-friendly meetings here, but most of them, in fact, were about waging war or avoiding it. Tonight, something seems off about the place. Mia is prominently absent. How devastating. The security around Torque has definitely been heightened. Is he expecting some kind of attack? I mean, beyond the baseline threats, of course. When I walk in, he's leaning on a snooker cue, staring silently out of the window. I know he's aware of my arrival, although he neither turns around nor speaks. It seems that it falls to me to expedite this meeting. It bothers me that the animations aren't on a full loop, like there's a jump. Their animation cycle is over. The powers that be never understand the value of time. You wanted to see me, so here I am. So you can show up on the dot if you want to. No troublemakers on your path this time, huh? I refuse to take the bait. None. I do need to hurry back, though. I can sense the Raven's eagerness to fly away, especially with nobody to keep an eye on her. Torque finally turns around to face me, eyebrows raised in confusion. Why didn't you bring her along, then? Bollocks. I should have known it was just Sorrento making unlife difficult for me. Can't exactly say that out loud, of course, so I just shrug helplessly, but before I can fabricate some rationale, Torque has already moved on to another topic. How's the investigation going? Any luck with smoking Castle out from whatever foxhole he crawled into? Not yet, but we have a few leads. He tilts his head in consideration. Do you believe that the girl is complicit in Castle's dirty work? She's got a real talent for trickery, that one. It doesn't matter either way. Well, I have only known her for a grand total of one night, and my opinion doesn't matter anyway, so I'll refrain from sharing it. What I do think is that this whole caretaking business is a waste of time, mostly mine. Agreed. Well, I'd say that we should hope she's innocent for her own sake, but we all know that hardly matters in the Council's eyes. Warping reality to support their claims is far more important to them. I just nod silently. I have nothing to add. Is that why you wanted me here, to discuss the Raven? No, very ridiculous. Here. He tosses me a snooker cue. You can keep track of scores while I deliver your rebuke. Here we go again. Your tardiness yesternight was a really bad move, Pedric. I'd understand fashionably late, but that was a straight-up display of weakness. And you know how I feel about displaying weakness in front of the Council. He takes a few skillful shots before missing one of the balls by a hair. You're clearly a seasoned player. So am I. Avoiding surveillance isn't a weakness, it's a matter of safety. It's a matter of respect, or rather the lack of it, when you show up so late while sheltered by my shadow. Despite the value of your insight to both the Camarilla and Anarchs, and to me most of all, your recent behavior reflects poorly on our relationship. What he says makes enough sense to throw me off my game. I bungle a shot miserably and step away from the table. I apologize, but may I speak frankly? You may. You consider my late arrival a show of weakness, but this caution of yours, oversensitive or not, that isn't for me to decide, is the kind of behavior that makes you appear weak. I've heard some whispers among the Anarchs that maybe they don't need a Baron after all. Torque laughs bitterly and hits the ball with much more strength than required. It almost jumps off the table entirely. They think I'm weak because I'm not trying to show off in front of the Council to make us feel superior to the Ivory Tower. I'm not weak, I'm pragmatic. This song and dance is about appearing confident and stalwart enough for the Camarilla to actually shut up and listen for once. Maintaining good relations with them has thus far only benefited the Anarchs. I hate acting like I'm trying to ingratiate myself with them. Believe me, I do. But it works. It's so right. It never fails. Baron of Barons. This time, one spin of the ring is enough to silence the voices, but their message is troubling. Yeah, sure, fine, let him win. Whatever. I fumble my next shot on purpose and curse theatrically under my breath. Torque looks at me with a smug smile. And how do you believe other Anarchs view this perspective of yours? Torque stands up straight, looking at me with his sharp and serious eyes, and lays down the snooker cue flat on the table. It seems our little game is over. That's precisely why I wanted to discuss tonight. What I wanted to discuss tonight. I nod, but hesitate. Is this about Mia? Torque's silence is all the confirmation I need. A moment passes before he speaks again. I've been considering removing her from the equation. It's not exactly surprising, but more audacious than I expected. You know, there is no love lost between Mia and Mia Sorrento, but I would be careful about messing with her. She embodies the Anarch ideals and holds more sway than you among the lower ranks in the Bronx, and they are not few in number. I'm not blind, Pedrick. I'm just trying to look outside the box that currently confines me. For a few seconds, he looks his real age, an old man squashed beneath the heavy burden of responsibility he tries to balance on his shoulders. But this moment passes as quickly as it came, and then he's back to his 30-something self. From where I stand, everything you do is for the benefit of the Anarchs, but they may not see it that way. I believe that removing Mia might incite an unnecessary revolt, and it's the last thing we need in these perilous times. Torque inclines his head in contemplation, humming quietly to himself while looking me straight in the eyes. The lack of response paired with that intense gaze makes me decidedly uncomfortable. I can only assume he's waiting for me to continue. You already know my thoughts on this, but I still think that if she wanted to overthrow you, she would act on the idea immediately. She isn't much of a schemer, but rather an impulsive doer, impossible to predict. Which unfortunately means that your static position on this unenviable chessboard makes victory highly unlikely. She knows all your available moves, while you know nothing about hers. For what it's worth, I do not sense a revolt coming just yet. Perhaps she hasn't quite given up on you. Perhaps. Silence falls while Torque considers my words. Given me a lot to think about, Pedrick. You may leave now. His end is nigh. He turns away, facing the window with a certain finality. I nod and quietly slink out of the room, wondering how his future will unfold. To any observer, my drive to Empire of the Sun is silent. Baron of Barons shall never fall. Yes, yes, yes. But on the inside, my voices refuse to calm down. What would he ever do without you, the Baron to end all barons? Finally, at 20, the voices are cut off as their throats are sliced. As if their throats were sliced. Judging by what they tell me, Torque's end appears to be fast approaching. I would never feel comfortable telling him, in case he reacted poorly. Perhaps I should have been firmer in warning him about Sorrento's ambitions. I look at the clock on the dashboard. Bollocks, I'm late to meetings far too often these nights. Let's just hope Kali remains true to her word this one time and waits for me at Sunny's. When I cut the last corner before Empire of the Sun, I'm already unconscionably late. It'll be a miracle if Kali's still there, waiting for me as promised. But as I park and catapult out the car towards the door, I see that she is indeed waiting for me, with the Anarch girl motto mentioned, no less, or at least she hasn't wandered off yet. Perhaps I should reevaluate my opinion of Christmas miracles. All I can do is nod curtly to hide my discomposure. You're here, that's good. Duh, I told you I'll be here. That's a welcome novelty. Yes, that's why I'm surprised. I assumed I would have to go looking for you in the neighborhood, like yesterday, for example. Hey, I never gave my word I'd stick around last time, did I? I roll my eyes, exasperated, a little over an hour apart, and I've already managed to forget how annoying she can be. The Anarch girl is eyeing me suspiciously, so I return her gaze. Patty, meet Skylar, a local Anarch with a knack for alchemy. Skylar, meet Patty. Regret letting her meet Motto. It's Pedrick, actually. Pleased to meet you, Skylar. Skylar nods. I can see the apprehension in her eyes, and I can't help wondering what has made her so wary of others. Perhaps it is me who gives her pause. Don't stress too much. Pedrick might be a bit uptight, but he's all right. He's just here to offer us a lift, that's all. Oh? Am? Yep. It seems I have no say in the matter. I see. We need to get moving. The meeting place ain't far, but night couriers aren't known for their patience. Let's hustle. We're meeting a night courier. I assumed the Skylar would tell us all we needed to know, but a night courier might be an even better source. I wonder, however. Who is this particular courier, exactly? Yes, do tell. I don't know. I only know her by the handle, and she always wears a helmet, so as long as she's clued into Raynard's location, seems like my kind of gal, too. Maybe I should start wearing something on my face, like a cool mask. I fail to see how a mask, cool or otherwise, would help her in nightly unlife. A gag would be more fitting. Now that would help me. Careful, or I'll gag you instead. She says it lightly, but I can tell by the dangerous twinkle in her eye that she's not joking. It seems she and Skylar are not exactly bosom buddies. Skylar gets into the car without another word, while Kali nods to herself, clearly satisfied, and turns to me with a smile. Anyways, you done with the Torque thing? Yes. She finds my laconic answer suspicious, even though this time I genuinely have nothing interesting to hide. I just look at her unfazed until she loses interest. Choir, I guess? Seems your meeting with Skylar went rather well. But she just smiles at me mischievously and flings the passenger door open while I inadvertently let out a sigh. I really need to work on those mortal habits. It's unbecoming of a kindred my age. Voices of the angels, they seep poison into your ears. He don't, a liar. Kill him, end him. I feel my body freeze, seize up inch by inch, molecule by molecule, paralyzed so thoroughly that I can't even blink. The peculiar man who was lurking in the background, who approached me so quietly I noticed nothing, falls to his knees before me and catches the hem of my trousers. False prophet, blasphemous runt, kill, kill. That's not why I can't move, of course. It's his insane, unhinged, familiar words that have struck me like lightning and rooted me to the spot. Patty-Weddy kills the runt, kills the runt. I just stare at him, his head thrown back, his misted-over eyes boring blankly into the night sky. He stops screaming, but his lips quiver with faint whispers. Kill, kill, kill! Dream not in your slumber, for the day star will sear its truth into your whole being. What are you waiting for, you dumb cunt? I want to shake him until all the answers fall out of his pockets. Who are you? What do you know? But I can't. The only thing still vaguely under my command is my hand, twitching, turning, crawling, until my ring closes around the cheap plastic of my fingers close around the cheap plastic of my ring and spin. Spin and spin. So blind, ever so lost, but I am here. I am here. Pedrick, you okay there, buddy? I can barely hear Kali's voice as she extracts me from the man's vice-like grip. It's as if my whole head is underwater. Patience, Fionn. Time is yet to come. Pedrick, talk to me. What's going on? Within her lies aid. 20. Finally break the surface. My body is my own once more. I can stop my hands from clutching the ring and hide them in my pockets. I can avoid Kali's eyes full of confusion and worry. I can speak. I'm fine. You sure? What was that all about? The man who grabbed me is nigh catatonic. There's no chance I'll extract anything useful from him. Besides, he's most probably just an unwitting conduit, much like myself. Not worth wasting my time on. I do not know. Let's not fret about it for now. The night courier is waiting. Okay, we could be speeding through this a little bit faster. Let's hope the intel this night courier gives us about Kali Sire is worth the trouble of setting up a meeting. And we've got to go through the whole goddamn scene again, huh? Our car ride is silent. Skylar doesn't seem all that fond of conversation, and Kali, for whatever reason, has made the decision to not talk my ear off. To be perfectly candid, it worries me a little. I can see out of the corner of her eye she's clearly unraveled the fraying edge of her sleeve with her nervous fidgeting. Consider asking if she's all right. I should enjoy this brief tranquility. That she seems anxious and makes me worry. We pull up to the meeting spot, clad in a dark leather sporting helmet. Barely come to a halt. Skylar jumps out and approaches the courier. I assume Kali's doing the same thing and makes a run for it. Come on, of course she does. Try not to smile at her mock outrage. Am I the only one flagged as a flight risk in your book? You were the flight risk. The moment Skylar pivots and heads out of the way, we cut the chatter and step out of the car. 5 minutes. That's all I could get. She reaches out her hand. Skylar rolls her eyes. Where's your stash? Got it right here. Quell the urge. Pleasure. She runs off. Fucking Christ. Okay. Here we are again, going through this conversation a second time. She tells me to shut up. I close my mouth. What the fuck did you get yourself into, Kali? She takes off her helmet and scowls. Holy shit, Jess, is that you? Of course they know each other. Care to introduce me? This is why I'm out of here. No. I seem to have lost the thread of this conversation. Pedrick mean Jessica Wainwright. Speaking of which, thought you were gone for good. Jessica was a little thrown off by Kali's words. Oh, really? They were playing it like that. Okay, I left you guys a fucking note witnessing arguments, especially ones that have nothing to do with me. It's been my job for the past 2 years. Kali and Jessica are swapping lines so fast I can't find a spot to cut in. The hell are you on about? Raynard said. Of course, Raynard said. Interesting. Obviously no love is lost between them. What the hell are you poking around for? Because it's Tuesday. That's why, right. And who's this charmer? I shrug. Fucking God. Okay, something about the sheriff is going to have my head. Right, okay. Pop quiz. Option A, I'm going to move for company. What the fuck? Truth be told, there's got to be something bigger at play than this whole mess. Jessica shrugs. Water's wet, sky's blue. Kali seems stumped. We don't have time for any of whatever. Please just spill the beans. Heard through the grapevine you might know where Castle's hiding. Castle's in deeper shit than Kali is. Word is Castle's right to the top of their shit list. Okay, this is major league shit. Jessica shrugs, puts her helmet on. It's your problem, not mine. Pause for dramatic effect. Don't bother calling me again. And then she's gone. Avoid the gaze. She's quite something. Avoiding personal topics is becoming a classic refrain for her. So, the circulatory system, what's your take? I decide to let that one slide. She already looks like one push away from toppling into the abyss. It's running short on time. Maybe there's a bigger picture here. We must have done something old. Maybe there's a bigger picture here. Seems to be something more dangerous, or something more at play here. They are dangerous, that's true, but you usually don't go after small fry. Okay. Great, we're still no closer to finding him. That's a matter of whether the circulatory system intends to hunt you as well. Please, hardly even a sidekick. This is bad. Our backup lead. Okay, fine. God, I hate that they have done this. Start walking towards the car. Funny story, but I can't. Oh, really? Your haven isn't safe for me anymore, right? We determined that. I need to leave. No, she'll be gone to ground guarded. Let her go, Fionn. Let her go. Perhaps I can loosen her leash an inch or two. Okay, fine, I get it. Stop messing around. I barely contain a smile. Let's rendezvous at my place tomorrow. I've got a private eye in mind who might have an idea where to find Sansaric. P.I., you're not talking about D'Angelo. The world is small. You know him? Already acquainted, I see. More like disappointed. Okay. Let's move on. My thoughts on Reynard Castle swirl and collide in a vortex of incomprehension until suddenly the inkling of an idea emerges. We must have done something outrageous to attract the system's attention. Might just know whom to ask all about it. Part 2. Dangerous Liaisons. Encounters with Vritra are far from pleasant, but there's a trial I must endure if I want to get the answers that have been eluding me for nearly a century. Only once before have I trespassed onto this ship without an explicit invitation. Vritra made it exceedingly clear that such behavior was unacceptable. But times change. Our dynamic has shifted. Our relationship has grown since, especially now that I hold more value to her, mainly because of this unique voice of mine. Whether I'm slightly more valued than before is of little import when she still keeps me in the dark about whatever catalyst of knowledge she awaits, and why she withholds answers from me. Answers that she owes me. This time, when I make my way toward the ship's upper deck, I'm surprised to discover Vritra is already there, standing on the prow. She seems to be taking in the views, assessing the scale of her domain, perhaps. I fully expect to be reprimanded for encroaching on her turf, but her voice is below frigid when she speaks, which means she's being as warm and inviting as possible. Pedrick, what an unexpected pleasure. What brings you to my domain? I look at her for a moment, candor and subtlety jostling for dominance in my mind. In the end, despite a complete lack of concrete evidence, I follow Kali's playbook and take a gamble. Shut up, just shut up, idiot, dimwit, fool. What is your involvement with Reynard Castle? I know he plays some kind of role in this spectacle of yours. Is he the reason you keep withholding information about my voice? Tell me. Vritra's smirk belies more than a drop of venom. And where does that inquiry come from? Your intuition? A hunch, as fledglings say nowadays? The smirk grows wider, deeper, more acrid. Or has your voice suggested it? I would really prefer a straight answer instead of more questions. I've had my fill of them lately. Vritra hums playfully. Something in her throat makes that sound double, triple, quadruple, until it pierces the air like a horn heralding the fall of an entire city. Rarely does one hear such an ominous sound and live to tell the tale. Being undead has its advantages from time to time. Reynard Castle is indeed one of the pawns on my chessboard. The task is delicate, but of crucial importance to all of my endeavors, perhaps the most crucial. So my suspicions were correct. Castle's involvement in her scheme is unexpected, yet considering the vast reach of their influence, she views any valuable asset as hers by right. There's a hint buried deep in that thought. Maybe I should take it. Should you, Fionn? It is, however, nothing to lose your sleep over, my dear boy, but I do have a very special task just for you. I ball my fists in fury and helplessness. Repeat the mantra in my head. As long as she has the answers I seek, I will suffer her treating me like a child. What can I do for you, Vritra? She smiles at me as sweetly as her morbidly beautiful face allows. Morbidly beautiful, huh? Keep Reynard Castle's child occupied. I understand that she has somewhat of an unfortunate attachment to him, but it would be best if she didn't locate him too soon. You need not interfere with her quest, but do not make it easier for her, and do keep an eye on her. Those of their clan has an unfortunate tendency to make things unpredictable when left unsupervised. Shall. I have done nothing if served you well. I would say I've been more than considerate. She responds with silence, and that unnervingly calm, icy stare that could easily drive one to the brink of madness. It's a weapon she's honed to perfection. I thought I'd be used to it by now, but it slices through me as viciously as the very first time. How long has it been now? 5, 6 months? Half a year trapped in this endless spin of justifications, half-truths, and unfulfilled promises, constantly veered off course? Despite her alleged interest in my unique condition, despite our shared thirst for answers, despite the growing urgency, the resolution to my dilemma always hovers just beyond my grasp. Still, she is the first kindred to make me believe she could truly grant me reprieve. I've been holding up my end of the bargain. Not once have I raised objections. Not once have I strayed from our agreement. But I'm not one of your puppets, Phaedra. I thought I made my stance unequivocally clear. That you did. This cannot go on. You need to deliver on your promises, or I'm walking away. She cracks a smile as stunning as it is rare, like a dragon flashing its fangs. It suits her, given her true nature. All in due time, dear. All in due time. Damn her and her cruel love of stringing me along. I can see she has no more information to share about matters of import to me, but perhaps I could see whether she's involved with Sansarique as well. I tire of this conversation, but let me give you a treat for a job well done. I have a nice new herd downstairs, freshly acquired. Come with me and relax, feed, enjoy yourself. You've worked so hard, my dear boy. Deserve it. With these words on her lips and a pat on my head, as if placating a morose hound, she saunters toward the lower decks. Shut up, just shut up. I instinctively reach for my ring, but after a brief moment of contemplation, conflict, and weighing pros and cons, follow. A couple of days ago. Okay, Circulatory Systems Labs. You're fucking with me, right? Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I just figured... Just you should know. I mean, he's your sire, right? Is that what you guys call it? Technically, yeah, but practically not anymore, thank fuck. I'd spit into the fucking void where God might have been for that blessing. Jesus, I thought you lot were only tailing him for his shady-ass deals. Nope, as far as I know, the Ventru board doesn't give a damn about it. Benign stuff like that is just a blip on their radar. But deliberately jeopardizing the system's supply lines? That's signing your own death warrant. Shit. Why the hell is he aiming for the SAD? What was he thinking, going full undead Snowden like that? Boy, a lot of these references are just not going to age well. Not that anyone's going to be playing this in 10 years, but whatever. It doesn't look like he aimed for anything. He just left enough crumbs to pique their interest. You're thinking of tipping him off? Oh sure, right away. Let me give him a call right this instant. What do you think, Nima? Fuck him. It's high time he choked on his own pile of shit. Okay. Pointless interlude, but whatever. At least it's not rehashing the same damn scenes we've seen. I will admit I did not believe Kali would actually turn up. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I gave her the benefit of the doubt yesternight, but I am fully prepared to launch a citywide hunt for her if the need arises. She left you just like you left yours in London. So when her voice suddenly pops up right next to me as I lean against my haven's door, I'm well and truly surprised. Hey there, pretty boy. You come here often? Hey, I'm pretty sure I selected that one last time, too. I look at her, relieved, before her words actually reach my brain. I wonder if the game remembers that. Do I come here often? It still doesn't explain why I'm able to change the course of what Pedrick replied then by changing new... Now, it's a mess. What do you mean? It's my haven. I sleep here. She pouts, but laughs lightheartedly. You're no fun. One day I might understand her attempts at jocularity, but not tonight. I get into my car without further delay, and she hops in right after. To Angelo's. Let's pay to Angelo a visit, shall we? Yeah, no time to dilly-dally, right? Correct. She seems dejected for some reason, then delighted when I hastily take off. Of course, she'd be a speed junkie. Fortunately, this is one predilection of hers that I don't mind indulging so far as the streets of New York allow me to. And this time, our drive isn't even that awkward. D'Angelo, you here? Okay, D'Angelo's haven, one I would be reluctant to call a bureau, no matter how much he insists, rarely ever changes. Much like the trapdoor in the corner that leads down to whatever D'Angelo sleeps in, flung right open. Okay, may take a look around. Even though the space is in chaos, it doesn't seem like anything's out of place, thankfully. D'Angelo always sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. There's a part of me that constantly worries about him, truth be told. Mr. Detective, I roll my eyes. D'Angelo will be delighted with that morsel of noir convention. Speaking of the devil, D'Angelo squints at her as he emerges from beneath the floor. They appeared like shadows. Kali scoffs. Kali, when he turns to me, a hint of smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. Gianni? Pedrick? We came here to find out how you two clowns know each other. Too late. Would you believe we clicked over what might just be the greatest movie ever? The greatest movie ever? I still think that calling The Maltese Falcon the greatest movie ever is highly debatable. Kali obviously latches onto a different part of the conversation. An Anarch girl? You mean Sana? D'Angelo's already ugly face twists even uglier grimace. Yes, D'Angelo hesitate, tossing him a cautious look. I'm not sure how much he'd like Kali to know about one of the darker moments of his past. One, I'm not one to blame. I killed her. Or not dodge blame. I killed her. What is a PI? You did what a PI does. Tracked her down, brought her. Okay, surely we have gone through this. Sana girl who got beheaded by the... Right. Same difference. In rare display of tact, Kali decides not to pursue the subject. A glimmer of light flickers into Angelo's shades. I hate to break it to you, if you're here for intel on Castle, you're out of luck. No new leads. Okay, well, technically we are, I guess. Though Castle is indeed ever present, at this moment we are concentrating on a different matter, namely, I had no idea it was physically possible to audibly roll one's eyes. Eli Sensorique, where do we find him? D'Angelo narrows his eyes. The serpent? Okay. Right. Kindly cut to the chase, Gianni. D'Angelo takes a long drag on what looks like an electronic cigarette. Sensorique and his serpents are gone from Harlem and nobody really knows why. Okay. Some clues would be nice. We don't know why Sensorique left Harlem. Just tell us where to start looking. St. Philip's. Okay, thank you. Intel's gonna cost you 2 usual blood bags. Last time I warned you, shit's gonna hit the fan. Okay, I'm bailing earlier. Okay. He looks genuinely terrified, and Kali and I slowly exchange looks before taking ahead. I can't, not just yet. I could use a lift. Okay. Well, we can't. Things are heated, I understand, but at the moment Kali cannot leave. Okay. Angela sighs. In that case, right, okay, goodbye. Bright nights are all gone. Only nightmares remain. I should write that down. Okay, Kali and I come to a stop in front of my car. We should... No, I already know the crap you're going to dish out. No splitting up, Kali. I can't fully trust you yet, Kali. But listen, it's late as hell already, so we gotta hustle. If we both go chasing Sensorique, we're gonna catch... Oh, in the same spot, we're gonna catch sunrise. We gotta divide and conquer. I concur. See, I knew you'd... What do you mean you concur? Okay, fine, explainer. I agree we have too much ground to cover, and since you keep your word and didn't flee, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Right, is this where, being replaced on... Is this where she goes off to the blood bank and we go off somewhere else? Okay, let's part ways for now. Do you have a preferred destination? Oh, I get 2 choices? So, oh, right. She went to the church. So now we get to change history and I get to go to the church instead? This is weird. Well, since she went to the church, we'll go to the park this time. Chasing Eli, Morningside Park. I can't help but wonder what a group of kindred as radical as the Ministry would even be doing in a park of all places. Although finding Sensorique here seems unlikely, the place still needs to be investigated for clues. See, this is where they've completely fucked the game. Like, for me to be able to choose what I've already chosen, but as a different character, thus changing the timeline. If they had just made Pedric available at the beginning, and you could go down one timeline or the other, depending on the person, and then if you really wanted to, you could play the other one to get a different perspective, then it would make sense. This makes no fucking sense. We had to beat Kali's thing first to unlock Pedric so that we could come here and then change time. I don't know, is that a Malkavian thing? Like we're just hallucinating reality? Anyway, we're going to the park. Kali hops out of my car at the entrance of the church, and I speed off towards Morningside Park to search for signs of Sensorique. From this vantage point, there's nothing particularly poetic about the park. The absurd number of stairs scattered about would inspire some lines, though. Couldn't inspire some lines, though. I'm quite fond of them, but at the end of the night, a park is just a park. Which begs the question, why would a group of kindred as radical as the Ministry be here in the first place? I don't know much about Sensorique, just enough to be sure that he is unequivocally bad news. The most powerful snake in New York, with the Ministry in his iron grip. Aggressive, territorial, unpredictable. Makes me wonder what kind of deals Castle made with him and how much of that obstructed Fritra's plans. Well, no matter. I'll comb through this entire park anyway, tree by tree, snowflake by snowflake. I'll admit the search is far from riveting, but I'm not one to abandon a task just because I'm bored. But the more I look, the more confident I am that Sensorique is not here. No trace of him whatsoever, in fact. Ready to admit defeat, I head for the rendezvous point when the wind carries a distant conversation to my ears. I turn around and quietly follow the susurration. I spot them moments later, kindred lurking about, clearly on the lookout for something. Perhaps they have information I seek. Unseen passage. Waltz right over. I let the ambience enshroud me till nobody, not even I, can tell where the air ends and I begin. I hunch down like a prowling predator and approach slowly, minding the snow crunching crisply beneath my feet. Within a few steps, I'm close enough to hear everything they say. I mentioned that it's unlikely all of them went into hiding. Vritra's usually on point with these things. I freeze, thunderstruck. Vritra's men? What are they doing here? I'd really rather not fuck this up. Let's just hope the others come through with something worth sharing. I drop my disguise and emerge from the shadows, gait relaxed, confident, and unthreatening. What might that something be, exactly? Oh, this guy again. Conroy, the fuck are you doing here, eh? Oh, for the love of... Why does it always have to be a Tharmas? Be Tharmas. Same thing you are, apparently, looking for Sansariq. Good luck with that. Not even a hair of him left here. Why are you even looking for him, huh? The other kindred remains silent, glaring at me suspiciously. I just shrug with as much nonchalance as I can muster. That's none of your business, Tharmas. Worry not. It's nothing that would upset Vritra. Yeah, I'd better not. Heard you were looking for Castle, too. Any developments there? He acts cool and relaxed, but the tinge of desperation in his voice doesn't escape my notice. No. He sneers at me, losing his composure, but I remain unbothered. What could Tharmas even do to me that matters? Annoy me to final death? Kali's already the top contender in that race. Well, our business seems concluded here. Convey my regards to Vritra, if you will. I won't. I shrug and leave, feeling their gazes burning holes in my coat. Vritra's favor is well worth suffering the occasional company of her lackeys. I return to my car and speed away toward the rendezvous point, lost in grim, nagging thoughts. I don't like Vritra getting interested in Sansariq. It might lead us straight to her doorstep, and that meaning absolutely must not happen. Before I know it, I'm near the church, where Kali is already waiting for me in a pleasant show of obedience. I must look rather harried, because all she does is glance at me before furrowing her brow. What happened? You run into trouble? No, just some kindred trying to track down Sansariq. I shook them off easily. No cause for concern? She squints as if she doesn't believe a word of it, but I pretend not to see anything. How about you? Did you find anything at the church? No, not really. Unless Sansariq turned into a rat, then yeah, there were tons of little Sansariqs running around. You be more specific. Yeah, it was a real shit show down there. Someone's dumped a whole bunch of bodies into the crypt, which we were not able to see because I didn't have the animism ability to go down there. Found this note on one of them. I immediately pull over to examine the note thoroughly, which somehow makes Kali exasperated. So this sort of puts the kibosh on my theory that the game remembers previous choices, because it would be really cool if the game changed this dialogue based upon what I had done in the first one, seeing how it made me go through the first story. It should have remembered those choices and then changed the story Pedric's perspective based upon that. Now, the timeline has changed. Whatever. Black, yellow eyes, highly aggressive, exercise extreme caution. Or did we find a piece of paper? But I didn't go down in the basement. That was locked behind the animism option. I wasn't able to get through the door. Anyway, I see. This description could be Sansariq. Truth be told, it fits half the city, but these coordinates are Greek to me. Hold on, let me grab the map. Save it, Mr. Safety First. I've already checked. They point to the Hudson. Looks like we're due for a river ride. The Hudson? See her again. Lad, prepare the sacrificial lamb. Hush. I roll the dice until it comes up 20, but by that time, Kali's already noticed something's wrong. All right, I mean, North Brother Island, or whatever it's called, didn't look too far off the coast on the map. It's not about Vritra. What a relief. North Brother Island, I see. Oh, right, but we found, no, so it wasn't coordinates. It was a different piece of paper with the fucking keywords in it. That's how we discovered North Brother Island before. I see. It's one of those little islands in the East River. It's close to the Hudson, but not quite there. Is there any way of confirming this lead before we commit to it? Yeah, check out this prayer here. First words of each line. Okay, so she found both. I take a cautious look and feel my shoulders drop. North of the heavens, his grand celestial shrine, brother in the Lord, North Brother Island. Suddenly, Kali gives me a light, reassuring pat. Chill, buddy. I'm a damn good swimmer. I could practically tow you across if it came to that. Isn't there something about moving water and vampires? What is she on about? That won't be necessary, but thanks. So this is our best shot, I guess. Sure seems that way. Better step on it. We don't have much time before sunrise. Right. Well, that's enough of that. I'm actually kind of disappointed that the side quests of Pedric are not really fleshed out more and that we have to sit through the dialogues as usual. Whatever. I'll see you next time.